Today I'm going to show you how to install a button on the PlayStation 1 that aids with the disk swap method using a GameShark CD. The old method for this, if you're familiar, is usually taking apart a pen and using a spring to keep the disk lid button held down. So the PlayStation always thinks the lid is closed, and this helps you when you load the GameShark utility. When it asks you to switch the game, as long as the disc has never been opened or the PlayStation thinks that, you can put in, say, a region-coded game like a PAL game on an NTSC PlayStation, which is what this is, or you can play your backup games using the disk swap method as well. So you can see where this plunger pushes down on this button. If we look inside where that's actually located in a PlayStation, and this is the disc lid button. So when this is closed or pushed down, the PlayStation thinks the lid is closed, and when it's open, the PlayStation knows the lid is open. And the way this works is like the following. The normal operation of the PlayStation with this graph is when you power the PlayStation on, as long as the lid is closed, it operates in the following way. You'll see the PlayStation logo when it boots, and this is doing the disk verification check, making sure it's a valid and official PlayStation licensed disc, and as long as that goes through that check, it loads the game and it runs. If you open the lid at any point in time, you'll need to reset the PlayStation because you have to go back and verify that it isn't an actual disc. Now, when using the GameShark, you get a little bit of an interrupt in this. So normally the lid's closed, we power on the PlayStation, you'll see the logo. It's checking the GameShark disk and it verifies and it's okay. So the GameShark utility loads into the PlayStation's RAM, and you get the option if you want to load cheats into RAM when you start respective game. But at this point when you're in the utility, the disc stops. So this is a really convenient time to pull a disc out and put a different one in. So you can swap this disc. The only problem is when you do this, you'll actually have to open the lid. And when you open the lid, no matter what, you'll still have to go back and run the disc check again. But if we hardwire a button that will keep the signal of the disc lid closed so the PlayStation thinks the lid's never opened, we don't have to repeat this disc check. We can just load whatever disc is in there, and that's exactly what this is going to accomplish. We'll start by disassembling the PlayStation, removing the bottom cover, and then removing the insides, which is disconnecting the CD drive, the data and power for the CD drive, as well as the main power and front control memory card and controllers. Before we continue, we're going to select the switcher button we want to use, and we're going to locate its placement. It's good to do this step before proceeding, because if you install a button and it doesn't fit, it's kind of pointless. So I'm measuring the thickness of the PlayStation as far as the shell. I just picked a place where I think the thickness is consistent. With this I get around 3 millimeters. So I'm going to open the button up to where those 3 millimeters would collapse, and then I'll measure how far it sticks down. And this will give me a pretty rough idea. I should have actually measured that a little bit further. A rough idea how far the button is going to stick down, and I'm checking to make sure it doesn't hang below the parallel port opening. So if it does, it's going to catch that little rift on the RFI and EMI shield on the PlayStation. So I'm just measuring the distance out, and I'll end up marking this with a marker to indicate where its location should go. I'm going to pre-drill this just to get a nice pilot hole, and I'm going to use a step drill. Since the hole I want is only 1/2 inch, I've marked where I need to stop on my step drill bit. And these are really nice. They're not too expensive, but they're great for drilling plastic, and because they work in steps, it's less likely to crack what you're actually drilling. So there's the button. I'll screw the bottom nut on the button on, and this is a good time to do a test fit. So from here, everything looks good, so I'm going to remove the rest of the screws that hold down the motherboard of the PlayStation. And those are the two contacts we need to interface with. I'm going to use some really light gauge wires that I got from a ribbon cable, and I'll solder two leads to the opposite sides of this button. You can use a multimeter to check which polarities you need, but if you look at the traces of this PCB, it's pretty easy to identify what's the circuit. So I've got my multimeter wired to the two ends to check my solder connection, and you can verify when I push the button it's an open and closed circuit. Now I'm going to reassemble it. If you forget where the screws go, if you look on the motherboard, there's some arrows which easily identify for factory assembly where those initial screws goes. I'm going to thread my wire through and put the other half of the EMI RFI shield on, reconnect everything. Now I'll solder the other two wire leads to the opposite side of the case and the button. Now I'll pop the PlayStation back on. Make sure I've relocated the routing of this wire because the CD lid tray actually occupies a little bit of that area.